Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your Hong Kong versus Manchester United watch along. We're live, we're excited, we've got nowhere else but to be. Really, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about transfers. There are some updates coming in about Bruno Fernandes. There are some updates coming in about Gyökeres. And we've got a little bit of an update from our source around Bruno Fernandes as well, which I think some of you will find exciting if you remind me about this. This is the same source who had the Delap, Onana, Yoro starting, Garnacho leaving, and Semenyo not being part of our plans. So we'll talk to you about that in a few minutes as well. But share, get involved. Hopefully we will see a Man United win to close off this ridiculous season that I can't believe is still going on. We're Manchester United and we're going to win it all in Hong Kong. I don't know whether we get a trophy for this. Don't know. Team news is out, by the way. Don't think we can put it up on the screen yet because it does seem to take a little bit of time to come in. But let me just read you out Manchester United's starting lineup. Bruno Fernandes is playing. Garnacho is playing. We've got Heaton in goal. Camerson, Kokonki, Lacey, Fredrickson, Amas, Evans, Casemiro, Garnacho, Rasmus, Bruno complete the team. The bench has Bienda, Armour, Dorgu, Heaven, Monroe, Kone, Collier, Fletcher, Mainu, Morehouse, Mount, Thwaites, Agate, Ahmad and Obi. So Maguire not playing in this game. Mount didn't play in the last game and doesn't start in this game. So I think some people are clearly having their minutes managed, aren't they? There's a few people like Delo, that he's not involved again. I don't think Dorgu's on the bench either. So, yeah, some of the senior players really, some of them have only played like 45 minutes out here. But there we go. I'm having a laugh about the trophy. I'm having a laugh about the trophy. Chill out. Don't have a cow, man. Don't have a cow. 1 o'clock kickoff. Yeah. So, yes. Talk to us about what your source has said, Mark. No one said that. I just said it. I will do in a minute, but I want to talk first and primarily, we do get bits of information, but we're not trying to be, ITKs or in the know like some. We do actually respect and follow those who do get information. And I think it's important to say that there is a bit of a breaking story coming out in relation to the striker situation, and it's coming from Fabrizio Romano. Manchester United's dream target in attack is Gyökeres, but the deal is difficult without the Champions League. After missing out on Delap, there are several options, and United will make a decision on their first target soon. I think this fits in absolutely perfectly. Brandon's in Hong Kong. Apparently, it's a fantastic place to visit. I had a friend who was in Hong Kong about 6 months ago, and they said it's great. Obviously, it used to be UK owned, didn't it? Now it's gone back to China, but it's still a fantastic place, apparently. But Cody says, that is rubbish news from Fabrizio. Provided nothing information. Tweet was useless. I disagree. I disagree because it's been so quiet around Gyökeres for so long. I think any update from somebody that's credible is an update. I think that if you saw the morning show as well, what this does do is it just gives a little bit of clarity and a little bit of proof that we are in the situation that we were predicting on the morning show collectively. I think it's fair to say United's priority was Liam Delap, as we've known for a long time. I think it's fair to say that's because he was cheap and Jason Wilcox was obsessed with him. And now that he's gone to Chelsea, I think United are really sort of up the creek without a paddle and having to get their hands dirty to try and redirect somewhere else. So they're panicking. And I think Romano's update says that they have options, and they'll make a decision soon. But what that also expresses is a truth and honesty that what we wanted hasn't happened, and we're now desperately trying to find what else we're gonna do. Because have no doubts, rightly or wrongly, United's plan A for the last few days has been Delap. I think Delap was a plan B really. When we didn't get the Champions League, I think if we'd got Champions League football, we would have gone for Gyökeres. But when we didn't get Champions League football, I think plan B becomes plan A, becomes Delap. And now we haven't got Delap. We're sort of looking back at Gyökeres going, but he wasn't an option because we didn't get Champions League. So we're sort of like going round in circles here. And I think that update from Fabrizio sort of shows that. that we haven't been able to get that deal done. So my general consensus about this Gyökeres story is I've got to get my words out. Sorry, I've just been sent a message here. I'm going to have to breathe. I think that update from Romano is not great for us. I think it's a truthful update. We would love Gyökeres, but not being in the Champions League is a problem. What are the other options now? They don't really know. So I think that's sort of where Man United are at the moment. Not many people in the stadium at Hong Kong. Somebody just said. I've got it up on my screen here. I can see Wes Brown and Zara. Started her career at on the United stand. Zara there, wearing the glasses. Yeah, I don't know what time it is in Hong Kong. What time is it in Hong Kong? What time is it in Hong Kong? I'd say it's about 8 o'clock at night. It's 7:30. There you go. So, yeah, that's where we've got with that. SK's given us a super chat, a very generous super chat, a £20 super chat. He says United shouldn't be Villa's Grealish, but Bruno for 100 million will help rebuild. We have serious competition this summer from so many clubs, and it feels like we don't have plans beyond the obvious. There are players, but it's a panic. Thank you. Yeah, it starts in 30 minutes. So yeah, look, we're just debating at the moment what's going on with the striker situation. Just to let you know as well, I've got to go. I've got a medical problem, so I've got to go and have a doctor's appointment at about 2:30 today. So early second half, I will be transitioning to the studio. So that'll be quite nice for you because you'll get Beth and the studio for the second half. But just to make you aware of that. So going back to what I was talking about around the striker situation, do I think that we've got a good chance of getting Gyökeres now? No, I don't. I think Fabrizio is just basically saying United want Gyökeres, but the Champions League, no Champions League is a big problem. So I don't think that's a problem. I don't think that's going to happen. I still think that we'll move towards Mateta. So I was speaking to the person that's given us a lot of good information over the last couple of months about the situation. And they said, with regards to striker, I don't know anything. I don't think anybody knows anything. Delap was obviously a major target for United, and there's major disappointment that he didn't come to them. So with regards to a striker, I can't add anything other than what we already know. I did ask about Bruno, and what was told about Bruno is that essentially this is Bruno Fernandes looking at Manchester United and looking at Saudi and being quite tempted by it. Nothing more. There was nothing about Bruno's angry with the club or Bruno's being forced out. It's just that he genuinely is tempted by the Saudi offer. Now, that might be nothing new, but in itself, I think it's quite big, because it just shows you that I think a lot of people, including our captain, are looking at Man United and going, we can't just sit here going with Man United anymore. I think a lot of you've realised that. I've realised that. And I think Bruno Fernandes has realised that. It's like, it matters not how much I love the club. It matters not how much I try. It's not making any difference. I mean, whatever you say about Bruno Fernandes, nobody can ever question his dedication to the cause, the fact that he's always fit. He has bad games, but it's not because he can't be arsed. He has bad games because he has bad games. He always gives 100%. I think he gives more than 100%. At the end of the season, if you're Bruno Fernandes, put yourself in his shoes. You've just had the worst Premier League season in United's history. You've just bottled a final and you're not going to be in Europe. And this club that you've spent the last few years trying to get back is now further away than it's ever been. From when Bruno came in at the start and the project was to take Man United back to the top, It's actually lower than it's ever been. So I think he's probably looking at it and going, reality is, whether I want to go or not, this project, what is this project? On top of that, it's very well known that Bruno Fernandes, and I have hinted at this for a while, but I may as well just say it. It's very well known that some of the players are furious about the way some of the staff have been treated over the last 8 months. Bruno Fernandes is one of those people. He's absolutely furious with the way the club have treated people. He wasn't happy with the way De Gea was treated 2 years ago. Him and amongst others were disgusted that a goalkeeper who had just won the Golden Glove, but also was a legend at the club and a long-standing servant of the club with huge experience, was told he had a new contract, went on holiday, and whilst on holiday, they basically sacked him. So that didn't go down well. There's been a lot of things that have happened at the club that Bruno and certain other players have been disgusted by for a number of years. And then the last 12 months has been the icing on the cake because they've seen countless good people who don't earn the money they earn, countless good people that help and support them and are liked, lose their jobs. Demoralising, dejected, unstable, concerning, lacking ambition. These are all words that are infiltrating the mind of Bruno and other players of what's going on behind the scenes. So you add that together with what's going on the pitch, and then somebody goes, we really want you and we're going to change your life. We're going to give you ridiculous money. I think he's just looked at it and gone, you know what, I'm actually going to think this through. Because the reality is, Bruno's loyalty to Manchester United and you is unquestionable. Bruno's loyalty to Sir Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers ain't the same. And I think he's just basically looking at this and going, how much more, how much longer can I just be loyal to Manchester United and the fans when the owners are knobheads? I've got an opportunity here, a life-changing opportunity to go on an adventure and earn ridiculous amounts of money. I'll still be playing for Portugal in the World Cup anyway. I can't just live off vibes of the fans. And also, let's be honest, some of those fans aren't exactly, you know, praising him. So I think it's an interesting scenario for Bruno. I don't know which way he's going to go, but he's definitely deliberating it. Who are the captain options if Bruno leaves, says Corey? I personally would give it to De Ligt. I think De Ligt has captain tendencies. He led Ajax to the league when he was 19. I think he's perfect where he plays in the team as well as a centre-back. You can be very vocal. You're not... if you're a centre-back and you're a captain, you think about the likes of Vidic, John Terry. You're not always on the ball. You can survey the scene. You can speak to the goalkeeper. You can organise the defence. You can shout encouragement to the midfield and the attack. I would like to see De Ligt get it. You could give it to Maguire for a year and then give it to De Ligt. So I think there are options. Slazy says, what about Tony? Or is it too much of a gamble? Too much money? I'll see what you did there. First, Bruno gone for medical. Now Mark 2, says ML. I'm not going for a bloody medical. I wish I was. If we got 100 million, how much can we spend PSR-wise, says Marble. I think you're not understanding the PSR issue. Receiving £100 million helps FFP and PSR because it's our profit, so it helps it. A lot of bad things happen in and surrounding the South China Sea. On this occasion, however, a bunch of misfits in a United shirt watching from China, says Awais. Hope you're doing well. Let us know where you're watching from, everybody. Please do share the video. We've got nearly 10,000 watching already. Kickoff's in 25 minutes. Mark, back when you made the video on Cunha attitude concerned, I said that we're going to lose Delap and go for someone better. I pray we pivot well, says CSRRR. I hope so, mate. Score prediction, says Theo. We might lose this game. And to be honest with you, I don't massively care. Just before I carry on, you can see Manscaped next to me. You can get 15% off and free worldwide shipping with the code TUS15. Fantastic products with Manscaped. I've got my little bag here. I've had my shave this week with the beard trimmer. 20 different lengths on that. I've also had my shave with me lawnmower for my medical issue later. No, I haven't. There's nothing wrong down there. But trim the grass to make the yard look bigger. You've got the handyman, which you can take around with you for shaves as well, and the weed whacker for up the nose. Fantastic products delivered to your door. Brilliant quality, trusted by millions of men worldwide. Delivered to your door for free with the code TUS15, but also 15% discount off as well. You can't ask for much more than that. So make sure to check out Manscaped. Fantastic products. We've worked with them for years, and to be honest, I've got to say it's been a godsend, because you do need to shave in certain areas. You do need to, at a certain age, do your nose. You do need a nice little tidy up. And I think sometimes, stereotypically, we don't think about it. And having products like that from Manscaped just take all that hassle out of having to look for, shavers, this, that, and the other. Fantastic products. Make sure you check them out. SK did a very generous super chat. Thank you very much, mate. Are you worried Amrin might quit if they sell Bruno? I'm still not convinced Bruno's going to go. I think United will be desperate for him not to go. But what more can you do? Apparently the Man United official feed is being spammed with Glazers out, Goldbridge in. They'll ban Goldbridge as the word, because they'll think it's me telling people to do it. I can't see the word Goldbridge there, so they've obviously blocked it. Imagine, why is my name getting blocked on the United Stand YouTube channel when I've not asked anybody to do it? It's not fair. It's not fair. You can't do that. Oh, it's not been blocked, actually. I've just seen somebody say it. Okay. It's okay. Okay. Leave him alone. Just tell him to come over here when they cut the stream. You worried Amrin might quit? No. Would you take João Pedro? He can play striker and cam, says Pedro. I tell you what, I think João Pedro is a very good player. In some ways, he's more suitable to us than Mbeumo, because Mbeumo is a winger who can play behind the striker, whereas Pedro can play as a striker and behind the striker. Pedro would suit our system. Better, I would say. So, but Brighton sell well, don't they? Interesting. If Bruno leaves, who will be like for like replacement? Jesse, I wouldn't. Here's a good question. Would you go to what would you do if Bruno Fernandes left? I forgot to ask this on the morning show. Would you go for a direct replacement, or would you do what I would do? I wouldn't replace Bruno Fernandes, because to me, Bruno Fernandes plays in the pivot and as a number 10. And he sort of does both jobs. He's a very good player and he does two jobs. I would just get two players in. I would go for a midfielder and a 10. I wouldn't try and replace Bruno. I don't think there's anybody out there that can. And I think sometimes that's to his... I actually think it's a problem having a player that does two jobs, because they do two jobs on the pitch and then they're not in position all the time. It can lead to a lack of discipline because he's trying to do too much. So personally, I'd go for two players. For example, if Bruno was leaving, I would get Edison and Pedro, or Edison and Cherky, or Wharton and Mbeumo, something like that. I would go for two players. Favourite discontinued fast food item? For me, it's the snack wraps from McDonald's, says Sully. I don't know about fast food, but the Topic chocolate bar, that broke me. And the Karamak. I've got a few quotes to bring you in anyway. Let me get back to this. Make sure you subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Napoli are keeping Conte, by the way. That's big news. At Devil's Info has put this out as well. Conte still pushing for Garnacho. I think he's 100% going to go to Napoli. I actually am getting, I don't know about you, but I'm actually getting more and more into Italian football. I'm actually quite excited to see Napoli in the Champions League next year. I really do like, I've always liked Italian football, but I've got back into it a lot more. I know Robert McCormack, he'll be going mad about this. But if Garnacho goes to Napoli and you've got McTominay there as well and Jonathan David, and I think they're going to be a lot of United fans' Champions League team next year. Because it ain't going to be us. Ain't going to be his. But no, I'd love Garnacho to go to Napoli. I bear no bad blood to Onana, Rashford, Garnacho. I'd love to see Rashford playing for Barcelona. I'd love to see Garnacho playing for Napoli. I'd love to see Onana playing for Macclesfield Town, and I would support them all. And especially because we're not in Europe next year, I certainly need some teams to follow. So I've said this before. You cannot have it both ways. You cannot say, like, imagine if Rasmus goes to Juventus. People will want him to be shit. I will want him to score loads of goals. You can't have it both ways. You can't say this player's shit, kick them out my club, and then when they go to another club, go, I hope they flop. That's not how it works. If Garnacho goes to Napoli, I hope he tears it up, because the way this club's run, I want it to get exposed for how shit it is. And I think Conte is perfect for Garnacho. Absolutely perfect. He will absolutely discipline him to a major level, and that's what he needs. So I hope he does go there. I was very excited when I saw that Conte was staying at Napoli last night. I'm really glad, because you do get a bit of a managerial merry-go-round in Italy. Who's the new AC Milan coach? Is it... he goes everywhere, doesn't he? Not Lippi. What's his Allegri. I think Allegri's gone to AC Milan now, hasn't he? So I'm glad. I'm glad that Conte's staying at Napoli. And look, McTominay was a good signing. He'll be looking at Man United again, won't he? Yeah. Surprised De Bruyne wants to be a Scooby-Doo backup, says Robert McCormack. Yeah, he's going to Napoli as well. So Napoli would be a very exciting team, I think, next season. I like their ambition. I'm looking forward to seeing them in the Champions League. They just need a striker. If I was Osman, I'd go back. So Beth is doing the second half. Is Seb going to watch, says Matthew? Seb's at football camp. Post-Fergie era, what's your favourite player, says Ben Mitchell? Bruno. Look, we've been doing this together for a very long time. Bruno Fernandes, the transfer saga, was just... I was absolutely convinced he'd be a good signing, and he has been a good signing. It's just I think it's time to move on. I think it is. I think that's something I would respect if he feels the same. Have we got the team news up yet? There we go. There's your team. Lovely stuff. Put it up on the screen. I'm Irish, but I lived in Brazil for a while learning Portuguese. Just realised Cunha is from the city I lived in. Extra excited now. Small wins, says Lou. Lovely stuff. Hope you're doing well. Some would argue that the Glazers have done better than Ineos in their first year. Both are hopeless nonetheless, but just for argument's sake. I agree, Samir. I was talking about this the other day. I think that realistically, the Glazers would react to missing out on Delap by going on spending some silly money. I don't know whether Ineos will. Pay Brighton the premium for Belieber. It'll fix our pivots, is 1 inch wonder. I do like Belieber, but I don't think we'll be going anywhere near him. Bruno isn't confirmed to be leaving, and there are some fans saying real fans wouldn't want him to leave. It still amazes me how fragmented the United fans can be. No surprise we can't change our ownership. Oh, piss off with your real fans bollocks. I mean, I just can't be bothered. As I said, I didn't really think before the Europa League final I had no respect for the Amrim Out crew, and I would say that. But I think since losing the Europa League final, you might have noticed, I don't really care what anybody says. I'm not going to argue with anybody. If you're Amrim Out, if you want Bruno to be sold, if you want Garnacho to go, if you want Rasmus to go, I don't think anybody can literally say to any United fan, you're not a real fan if you want to do something that you don't want. Everybody within this fan base at the moment has got the right to have extreme opinions about what they would do with managers and players, because we've just witnessed our worst ever Premier League season and the biggest bottle job in a European final I've ever seen. So how can you not be a real fan if you want to move Bruno on? I don't think anybody's above that at the moment. Everybody's entitled to an opinion, and you can't be pulling out you're not a real fan. You know, a few years ago when we started the United Stand, you know what people used to throw at this community? Negative. Win, lose or draw, back the players. I always said, I tell you what, I'm going to attack that and let's see who wins in the end. win, lose or draw, always back these players. Don't hear that anymore, do you? Don't get your retweets for that anymore, do you? Don't get your likes for that anymore, do you? Because it's a load of shit. And it always was a load of shit. Win, lose or draw, back the team. Bollocks. Absolute nonsense. As I always said, and many of you agreed with me, respect is earned. You don't back this team, win, lose or draw. What we meant to do at the end of the season. Oh, back them. Yeah, worst. This is what I mean. It's illogical to say win, lose or draw, back this team. Because what about when they put a season in like that? You can't applaud that. There's standards. There's standards. You can't applaud it. You can't be sympathetic to it. They earn millions of pounds a month, a year. There are standards, and it needs calling out. Thank you for everybody for tuning in, by the way. About 15 minutes away from the start of this game. Man United against Hong Kong. Don't know anything about Hong Kong, but apparently there are 140 in the world. For a laugh, just mentioning golden oldies with 1 year left. De Jong, Kessie, Rabiot. My head's gone this season, says SK. Nook, thank you very much. I'd still take De Jong at Man United. I still would. They're 153 in the rankings, says Gamebred. If United don't get a striker in the transfer window, would you put your laces on for the club, says James. Mate, I scored a couple of bangers the other night. Can't do any worse. Napoli are doing all of that off the back of selling Kvaratskhelia. A big sale. Something to think about with regards to Bruno. Look at PSG post Mbappe. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Great point by Patrick. I think there are a lot of takes you can have around Bruno. I said it to you this morning. With Bruno, worst ever Premier League season, bottled the final. We need a massive rebuild with Bruno. Without Bruno, we need a massive rebuild. With Bruno, they're saying we've got no money. Without Bruno, we get 100 million quid. We need a massive rebuild and we need massive money. The only way to get that money is to sell Bruno, and we need a rebuild with him anyway. So we may as well get the money in. Look at Liverpool when Jurgen Klopp came in. Coutinho, the sale of Coutinho allowed the club to rebuild the football club. Some Liverpool fans might have gone, oh, Coutinho's so good. And he was good at that point. Coutinho at Liverpool was a very good player. They sold him to Barcelona for ridiculous money. I'm sure there were some Liverpool fans going, oh, what are we doing? What are we doing? They used that money. They did it with Suarez, I think, as well. Look at what Napoli did with Kvaratskhelia. Look at what PSG have done with Mbappe. You use the money to rebuild a club, and this football club needs rebuilding. The only negative I would have about Amorim is his inability to look past his love for Bruno and how Bruno's so important to the rebuild of the team. I imagine it's quite scary thinking of Man United without Bruno, but is that because he doesn't trust the club to bring the players in? If from where I'm sat, £100 million and Bruno leaving, I know what I'd do with it. But maybe he knows that money won't get spent properly. Maybe that's why he's desperate to keep him. We don't know that. Bruno is our best player, but for where we are, if someone pays us 80 million for a 30-year-old, we have to sell to get other players in. It's sad but true, says Ollie. Calvert-Lewin, Bruno replacement. Jimmy Jam says Aki. Dream window. Sell Bruno, Rasmus and all the players we have on loan. Get in Gyökeres, Pedro, young right wing back, midfielder, centre back and goalkeeper, says Pedro. Chance of United signing... I don't know who that is, Nook. For a laugh, I've done that one from SK. James says, if United don't get a striker in the transfer window, would you put... I've done that one. I'm just attracted to it. Heesang is watching from Korea, loving the content. Do you think there is a chance of Garnacho going to Leverkusen? If I was Garnacho, I would go to Napoli, not Leverkusen. Leverkusen obviously is Ten Hag. He might want to reunite with him, but Napoli's the place to go. Argentina, Maradona's club. That's the place to go. Yeah, he's already gone, Robert. That's why I didn't even acknowledge it. Do you see good days on the horizon, says Jesse? Not really at the moment. If I'm being honest with you, I don't really see good days coming for United at the moment. No. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. We're getting very close to 2.1 million. We're actually about 10 subscribers away from 91,000. So please do subscribe. Get involved with the United Stand. You're very welcome as always. We've got our 8 o'clock show tonight. We've also got our afternoon show, which will be after this. We're going to be going to the second half with Beth in the studio as well. So lots going on the channel. Do get involved. The biggest and best Manchester United community in the world. And I know we've got a lot of people watching from around the world as well. Don't be fooled by the Man United YouTube live stream, by the way. They'll show you about 50 seconds of the game and then you'll be back on here. So tell them that in the chat. Get over to the United stand. Let's come back to the chat here. I want to just see if we've got any comments coming in from Ruben. No worries. Let's have a look. Apparently Bruno Fernandes' offer from Al Hilal is 21 million a year net on a 4-year contract. He'd be tripling his weekly salary. Money. I don't know whether it's about the money, though. I tell you what I would say about Bruno is if United were in the Champions League, you wouldn't even think about it. So it's not actually about the money. It is about the money in the fact that it's tempting, but if we're in the Champions League, you wouldn't even think about it. Ben Jacobs says that Al Hilal are prepared to make a first offer of 100 million euros to Man United, while Bruno can earn 700 grand a week of bonuses if he agrees. Hilal already have budget signed off as the funds allocated to try and sign Mo Salah have been retained by the club. Works out at about 84 million pounds. That first offer, knock it up. Get it bigger. That's what she said. Go bigger, definitely. We want more than that. We want more than that. Any quotes from Ruben ahead of the game? There should be some. I haven't seen them, but there should be some. Let me have a quick look. Gyökeres we've spoken about. Ericsson said his goodbye. Al Hilal have made it clear to Bruno that he's got to join before the Club World Cup. Sorry. Okay, we're back. We're back. I couldn't find any Amrim quotes. I know he's done an interview, but nobody's even talking about it, so it's probably surprising. I'm just trying to find out here. Seven minutes to kick off. Would our fans take Mason Greenwood back? No, Matt. I don't think Man United would do that. Alan Noonan says it's time to push out these leechers, otherwise we are going to be another Leeds. Thank you, Alan. Hope you're doing very well. 1 Inch Wonder says, realistically, assuming a miracle, with all the right decisions made, good transfer windows, how long before we're consistently in the top mix again? Good question. I'll give you the miracle, right? Man United, sell Bruno, get Gyökeres, get another number 10, like a Pedro or whatever. Bring a midfielder in, like an Edison. Bring another centre-back in and a goalkeeper. So you've got a goalkeeper, a centre-back, a midfielder, 2 number 10s and a striker. Bruno goes, I'd say next season, into the top 6, Europa League. Season 2, into the top 4, Champions League. Season 3, trying to close in on the top 3. We take that. So I'd say 2 or 3 years we could be back competing for top 4, but I've got to have them 6 players. If I don't get them 6 players, well, I'm sorry, I'm resetting us back down to somewhere between 6th and 10th. Mark, when is your career mode coming back? I'm not too sure. Not too sure. We've got Ben Jacobs on the United stand later. He's going to come on and have a chat about the Bruno situation. So I think that's going to be about 3:30. That's what I was just sorting out there. Has a United signing ever shocked you when the transfer rumours around him first broke, says Forms? Yoro. I think Yoro coming in did shock me. It was a good signing. I'm not going to deny that. We've been rebuilding for a decade, says Samir. Our rebuilding has to be the world's longest rebuild of sorts. Surprising how other clubs like Bayern, Real don't face a drop no matter a change in manager. They're just well-run clubs, they are. Why keep saying about a striker when all the oppositions have to do is cross the ball and score, says Kieran. Sean McGaley says, genuinely scared for what striker Ineos might go for. We might look back wishing we got Delap. I think that's a great point. I think that's a great point. It's just pure speculation. Like, there are some people out there going, I think missing out on Delap's a good thing. We'll end up with somebody better. There are some people out there going, I don't want Delap, but I think we might regret not getting him because what we go for is worse. We don't know. We don't know. We genuinely don't know. I think either of them are possible. Selling Bruno means Amrim can't play him in the wrong position. Also, City would sell and reinvest. Can we trust our structure to buy well, says Alexander. And I think that's the thing for me, is like I definitely see the value in selling Bruno and rebuilding the football club. But the fact that Amrim doesn't, I think needs to be studied, because is there something he knows that we don't know, effectively? That's sort of my concern about it. But yeah. Yeah, if you're watching the Man United official feed, tell them to come over here, because that's going to die very, very quickly, and we are doing a watch-along here. So get involved in that. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Bottom right-hand corner, Man United up against the mighty Hong Kong. Bruno could be playing his last game, I suppose. Could be playing his last game. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, share the video. We nearly got 16,000 watching. One thing about this community is it is great. The plans for the rest of the day then is I've got to pop out in the second half, so we're going to go live to the Manchester studio for the second half. Then at 3:30, we've got Ben Jacobs coming on. He's obviously put some good stuff out around Bruno. He's got very good connections into Saudi, Ben Jacobs. It was very good on the potential sale to Qatar as well. So he's got good Middle Eastern contacts, Ben. And then 8 o'clock tonight show as well. So lots to get into on the show. Of course, I think at some point we're going to get the breaking news of what's actually happening with Bruno too. Don't forget, we're sponsored by Manscaped. 20% off, free worldwide shipping. Sorry, 15% off, free worldwide shipping. Scan the QR code, TUS15. It's probably to do with Trump's tariffs. Probably had to reduce it, I don't know. Bruno will be a big what he could have been, says Marv. I'll tell you what my big problem is. I'm on the 8 p.m. show, yes. My big problem is, with Bruno, players are out there at the moment. I'll tell you what my big problem with this Bruno situation now is, and it's not his fault, and it's not Amrim's fault, is if he stays, there's no scenario where at some point next year people aren't saying, why did we keep him? We should have got rid of him. Unless he wins Player of the Year and we win the league, there will not be a scenario next year where people go, we should have let him go. He's in an impossible position now, because everybody knows we could have got silly money for him. And as soon as he has a bad run of games, it will be like, we should have got rid of him. We should have got rid of him. And that's not his fault. It's not fair. That will be a problem, definitely. Definitely. Can Man United finish the season with a win? Well, it'd be nice. I'm praying for the people of Hong Kong that have turned up for this game, that they actually get to see a goal. Bruno's there captaining. Doesn't necessarily look like a player that's playing his last game, by the way. I hope you're having a good Friday, mate, says Sam. I have a glass of wine on me. Cheers, pal. Anaban, welcome to the members club. Get your badge in. Appreciate that. Aki says, before selling Bruno, our plan was scary, thinking we were going to get Delap. Do you think after selling Bruno, our plan improves? I'm really scared. Hope so. Hope so. Thank you for the show, says Derek. First time watching United and might be the last time watching Bruno. Hopefully it'll be a cracking game. Thanks, Derek. Just a heads up, Mark. Someone said United was the first team in Hong Kong's new stadium. I live in Hong Kong. It's at the old stadium, says Dale. Okay. Do you like Retue from Atalanta? He's a good striker we could sign if it happens, which it obviously won't. Riley, I think people would be a little bit phased about going for another Atalanta striker. That's the only thing I would say about that. Garnacho is starting, probably his last game as well. Thank you. God, I can't believe I've got 993,000 followers on Twitter. Never thought I'd be closing in on 1 million. That is amazing. But I'm not showing off. I'm actually shocked. I'm stunned. Amazing. Quays, welcome to the Members Club. Has there been any news on Anthony's future? I don't think Anthony's going to be a problem to move on, really. Who are the best in class for Amorim's position? Thank you very much for that. What, we're talking best in class in relation to... It's a very empty stadium as well. Yeah, it is. It is another very empty stadium again. I don't know what that's all about, but just seems a little bit odd to me. Right, I'm going to stand up a little bit, otherwise I'm going to get... I mean, it's the Hong Kong national team. I say very empty. I mean, there are people there, but it's certainly not full. There's a lot of empty seats there. We're up and running anyway. Why is that blue? Oh, I did the... I know why. I did the Conference League final, didn't I? Anyway, the pitch looks weird. The grass looks long and wet. That's how I like it. Yeah, you can see why the way the ball's moving, it doesn't look particularly great. God, he's gone past Casemiro like he's not there then. Apparently they've done it again on the Man United stream, showed 50 seconds and then cut the stream. Get him over here. Quickly get in the live chat and say, get yourself over to the United stand. Garnacho on the attack. Make sure you subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Bruno into Amas. Pitch looks like it needs a bit of manscaping, actually. Rasmus up front again. I mean, that guy never gets a break, does he? Even when people want him to. Here's a pint on me, Mark, says Michael Pass. I was born in 86, and I wish we had this channel during the glory years. Thanks for all the content. Oh, Michael, I've not heard that for a while, but I absolutely agree with you. Amas has got lots of room here. Into Garnacho. Everyone taking too many touches again, look. We have no rhythm with the ball at all, do we? Everybody takes so many touches. It's like granddad football. Walking football. Yeah, I'd love to have been doing the United stand through the glory years. It is raining, Mark, says Eamon. Okay, hope you're doing well. I've been watching since 2018, says Mitesh. Thank you very much. We've not lost the game yet, Dave B. If Bruno leaves, I hope the club doesn't act like we have to replace him and strengthen the squad. A younger Bruno still gets you 15th. We need a squad, says Godswift. Love to know what Amorim really thinks of Ineos, says Rob Always United. Well, he can't like him, can he? I mean, nobody likes Ineos who cares about Man United. So, before selling Bruno, our plan was... I've done that one from Aki. Thank you very much. Welcome to the new members as well. Pitch looks awful. Be lucky if we don't get any injuries, says Ahmad. Imagine if Bruno gets injured. Has anyone thought about that? Imagine if Bruno did like his cruciate ligament or something like that and was out for a year. Can't sell him, and he can't play either. And we'd be debating nothing then. What about Vlahovic, says George. He has the same style as Gyökeres, and I think that Amorim can make him a beast. There's just something about Vlahovic that just doesn't seem quite right. Like, again, there's no cue for him from anybody. I've not seen Vlahovic linked to anybody. And yet Juventus have been talking about selling him for ages. Oh, Rasmus got a shot in there. Keeper made a good save. Bruno. Better start from Man United. Do you miss Ollie? I don't miss his football, Leo. I miss him as a player, but I don't miss him as a coach. Good play by Lacey. I like Lacey. Keep an eye out for him, 72. Really quick onto this. He's got a very talented player, Lacey. He's just had problems with injuries. Sort of been forgotten over the season, but really talented player. As Solomon says, fantastic player. Who do you think could be our breakout youth player next season that could actually fight for a starting pot, says Sean? Well, honestly, I think that the player we just mentioned there, Lacey, has got a lot of potential if he can stay fit. He's a sort of player that I think United have just scored, but there's an offside there. Casemiro from a Bruno free kick. Is Man United really going for Ekatike, says Eintracht Hong? No. I've not heard anything about that. Ali's hungry. I'm quite hungry, actually. I tell you when, I went out last night. I didn't do the 8 o'clock show, so I got to go out and was only meant to go for a couple of pints. I had about 5. So I've got that sort of hungry over. Here's Garnacho. Good cross. I tell you what, we're playing a lot better today. Look at how many empty seats there are. We must have got paid up front. Why is there so many empty seats? I genuinely don't really get the point of this. We got paid £8 million to go there. The last game wasn't a sellout. This isn't a sellout. So what is the point in them having us come over as well? I know why we've gone there, but why would they pay us £8 million to go there and then no one wants to watch it? Why aren't we looking at Sorloth, says Marlowe. He's statistically the best striker in La Liga and he's not happy with the game time. Well, we might be, mate. We might do. A good one down the wing. This could be a goal for Garnacho. No, he's not going to get there. Did you see Garnacho giving middle finger to fans? Says Arsian. I haven't seen the Garnacho one. I've seen the Ahmad one, but that was because he was getting abuse. So maybe it's the same thing. Good run down the wing here from Hong Kong. Cleared away by Fredrickson. People are working at this time, Mark, says Katie. What, 8 o'clock at night? Ivan says the ticket prices are very high. Someone in the chat says they're actually doing a proper protest. Savage says if they go to India, they'd fill it. Here's Garnacho, bit of room. Spanky says, I really hope Bruno doesn't leave. 1 Inch Wonder says, it's because Sir Jim sets ticket prices at £500. Thank you very much for that. Keep asking the same question. Seth's given us a super chat though, so I feel I need to answer it. Amas is getting loads of room on that left-hand side, by the way. 80 million for a bang average Bruno. It's laughable, says Madsen. Anyway, what would I do if we sold Bruno? I'd try and get a striker and a midfielder in and another number 10. Definitely. Another ball to Amas. Is Bruno actually going? Well, we've been talking about it before kickoff. I mean, he's playing for Man United on the pitch at the moment. I find it hard to believe that he's going to go, but apparently there is an opportunity for it to happen. When do you think United will announce Cunha, says Ilya? I think he's in Brazil at the moment. Then he's got to do a medical. I think there'll be an announcement from United that he's passed the medical at some point in the next week or so, and then he'll officially have the shirt and stuff, I would say, in early July because of the kit. Garnacho. What would you do if United lose this game, says Ollie? The same thing I did when we lost the other day. Just go, well, we shouldn't be here in the first place. It's embarrassing. What a waste of time. Lacey plays like Foden. I like him. That's a very good analysis of Lacey, to be fair. He has got that sort of Foden gliding of the ball, close control. Look, it's a long way off, but if Lacey is like that, then that's the sort of number 10 we need. We need somebody who can just keep the ball and pass the ball very simply. We ever do a show in India, Mark, says Arslan? I'd love to. And if we don't sign a keeper, Biinda, Annan or Heaton. No, we will be signing a keeper, JK. You can't go into the season with those. Free kick from distance. Keeper palmed it out. Gone for a corner. Joachim says, my biggest problem with Rasmus is that he battles with defenders all the time instead of looking for pockets and free space to run into. I think Bruno's free kick. Well, maybe it was deliberate. I thought it caught a bit of a deflection. Terrible weather here. Not here. It's fine here. But in Hong Kong. The lineup should be on the screen for you. 75% possession against Hong Kong. You'll never sing that. You'll never sing that. You'll never sing that. 75% possession against Hong Kong All-Stars. Actually, it's not their All-Stars. I think it actually is Hong Kong. Another corner for United. Bruno will be on this one. Not a great corner. Garnacho's got it, though. Into the box. Too many touches again. And he'll shoot. Yeah, good save. Absolutely no thought of putting a cross in at all. At least he's consistent. I think Asian All-Stars are better than Hong Kong anyway. I mean, I'm just trying to make a bit of a comment here, but I think they are. I had hope for Biinda after Arsenal. It's a shame, says JK4. You know what? Out in Malaysia, in Hong Kong, though, they love Garnacho. Never, ever. It's great. They just showed a slow-mo of Garnacho there. And looking at his head, at no point has he got any concept that there is another red shirt on the pitch. It is total focus on the ball and having a shot. Stadium's got bigger capacity than Stamford Bridge, says Joseph. Well, I'd imagine it does. Stamford Bridge is not that big. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Please do share the video. Fair play for tuning in. Actually had more people tuning in on the morning show, which just shows you the interest in this. But we can talk about other stuff as well. Transfers. We've got Ben Jacobs coming on at 3:30 to talk about the Bruno situation. I had wondered whether Amorim Garnacho's getting so much of the ball. Cuts it back and miss. I think that was Lacey. Could have been 1-0. I did wonder whether Amorim was going to say anything before the game. He did say something before the game. Let me read it to you. Ruben Amorim pre-match. We need to do better than the last game. We understand that the players are tired of travelling and all the commercial things, but it is the time to show good things for our fans. I mean, he sort of answers the question properly, doesn't he? We're tired of all this commercial shit, basically. People forget that if Bruno was not there, there would be another player in his position that could assist and score goals, says Patrick. Kokonki looks like a monster. 17 years and 196 centimetres, says Tobias. Is the podcast returning next season, says Lewis? No, that's why we said on the last podcast it was the last podcast. It's not returning at the start of next season, no. Looking forward to the summer break. Amorim might get a chance to stop doing interviews, maybe coach a little, says Sir J.K. Worthy. Amorim's probably got post-traumatic stress from doing interviews. He's going to be on holiday in Dubai, and people will be like, he's on the beach with a shampoo container, talking into it. When's the new kit out? Don't know. Probably July, I'd say. July. Home kit, first week of July. Why are United not thinking of Kirkes, says Jesse? Because he costs money and we haven't got that money. And he wants to go to Liverpool, I suppose. Mark, can you realistically see United getting back the club they were in the Fergie era, says Benjo? No. No. Realistically, no. Not at the moment. You've got to show... They're on the attack, offside. You've got to show a pathway, and at the moment, they're certainly not doing that. You can't just do it in vibes and name. You can't. We're not coming back just because we're Manchester United. Like, there has to be a plan. Sean has given us a super chat. He says, have my GCSEs starting next week and lost on what to do after it. Do you recommend college or just getting into a job and gaining experience? Sean, I can't tell you what to do, but I think electrician, plumber, manual labour sort of jobs, if you know you want to do that sort of thing, then definitely just get into some sort of apprenticeship or something like that, yeah. If you don't know what to do, just go to uni, I suppose, and get a degree. I do know that Hong Kong was formerly under British, yeah, I do, Timothy, yeah. Vatsel says, what do you think Man United's biggest achievement will be in the next 10 years? Building a new stadium. I think that's what their main aim is. As sad as that is, I think they're big. I think if you said to Sir Jim Radcliffe and Joel Glazer, what would you rather have, a Premier League title or a new stadium? They'd say new stadium, and that's the scary thing. Because I'd take the Premier League title. I couldn't give a shit about a new stadium, to be honest with you. Oh! They've scored! 1-0! They've actually scored! I can't believe it. Well, I can believe it, because we're absolutely rubbish. 1-0 to Hong Kong. Bit of a keeping error, I think. But it's not really a surprise. Really. It's not really a surprise. I mean, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? It's an irrelevant, cash-grabbing, mercenary game exhibition against Hong Kong. that we shouldn't be doing. Tom Eaton should be sat in Ibiza picking up a pina colada from the barman, and instead he's picking the ball out of his net. In Hong Kong, it's raining. It's another low point for Man United. Is it true United will be sponsored by Ineos? I've not heard anything about it, Ahmed. We're so cooked. But anyways, looking good today, Mark, says Lemsit. Poor Tom, you're not expected to save goals, to be honest. $3 for being a better commentator than MUTV, says Joseph. I mean, I think my cat could do a better one than that. Hear me out. What if Al Hilal paid United to get Bruno just for the Club World Cup? You might think it's impossible, but you never know with Ineos, says Yellow Bathing Suit. Manchester United social credit, says Jimmy. 2028, we're winning the league though, right? Says Brandon with a big smiley face. Missing you over in Dublin, Mark. Beer garden weather. Do you think United's situation could get so bad that you focus just on that's football for sanity, says Kev. I've already said, like, if Garnacho goes to Napoli, I mean, Champions League next season, will be Napoli. That'll be my team. Have my G... I've done that one. Thank you very much to Kev MC as well. Pitch is horrible. Pitch is horrible, but still losing. It's the same for them as it is for us. Imagine. The only thing I wouldn't say I'm worried about, but I don't think we can be bantered anymore. But imagine we go to the other side of the world to play 2 games nobody can be asked to turn up for, and then we don't even score a goal. That's the scary thing. Imagine if we don't even score a goal. And as one of you said on Wednesday, like, this has done more damage to a club that was damaged. If you think like the confidence was on the floor after the Europa League and after last season, we've actually managed to find a way to make confidence and morale drop even further, have we? I know for a fact some of the players are really pissed off with the club that they've had to do this. So you're just eroding the trust and morale anyway, them having to do this in the first place. And then they're losing games as well. It's the humiliation tour, says Declan. Exactly. It is humiliating. But, you know what? People can say it's only an exhibition. Actually, in an exhibition, you're more relaxed. Your quality should shine through even more. There's just no composure, says Michael. No, everyone takes too many touches. I just tuned in. You can't be serious right now, says Black Wolf. I can. Hong Kong 1, Man United 0. Rooney played better goalie in an ad than Onana, says Mohit. I just now tuned in, thank you. Alvaro's situation still confuses me. If he's good enough for Madrid and worth 50 million, why aren't we bringing him back? He doesn't want to come back, mate. Dan, doesn't want to come back. Who will win, Hong Kong or Asian All-Stars, says Ricard. Bruno's return flight booked to Saudi, says Adam. I was at the Kuala Lumpur match and it was about 90% full. For Hong Kong, it's the China market the club is targeting, says Bobby. Even Hong Kong is beating us. How did we get here, says 7-Inch Destroyer. I mean, look, I'm not going to turn an exhibition game into a reason to take a pop at the manager, but if he's not motivated to get something out of these games, then why are we doing them? So I'm not having a pop at him, but what I'm saying is, if I was on that touchline and I was motivated, I'd be like, fucking hell, lads, you're embarrassing yourself. Start moving the ball around like I've told you. Start playing the way I've told you. But I just think he just doesn't want to be there himself. because we should be able to score goals. Black Wolf says it can. And Joe says it's scary how we went from the feared club to being the club where most teams look to get 3 points from us. Irish Ryan says this just embraces what the club is now, a cash grab with soulless owners and players. Sahij says Dibbling, Fernandez, Salamina from Southampton, Daka and Justin from Leicester. They're all some good players in the recently relegated sides we could poach. This manager can't even outplay these Asian teams, says Eva. How many of our players get into their teams, is Simply Red. Would you sign a Leverkusen striker, says Oliver. Yeah, doesn't... what's his name who plays up front for Leverkusen? Boniface. Is he at Leverkusen? I'd bring him in, yeah. Everyone's having a drink of water now. May as well join them. Boniface and Schick are at Leverkusen. Yeah, I'd take Schick. He's a bit older, but I would. What are your top 3 favourite beers, says Irish. A lot of people ask, Irish Ryan, a lot of people ask me about this. What's your top 3 favourite beers? And I don't know why I keep getting asked it, because I always keep giving the same answer. I'm not really a lager snob at end of day. So it don't matter to me. I was drinking Asahi last night, which I do quite like at the moment. But it depends what your pub's got. I mean, I used to drink Madry, but they haven't got it anymore. So I don't drink it, really. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. You're all very welcome. Just having a bit of a chat and watching United get beat by a bunch of amateurs again. Standard. The way it goes. We have got an 8 o'clock show tonight. I'll be having a drink. Don't worry about that. And also, we've got Ben Jacobs on at 3:30 today, live on the United Stand. He's had some good inside information on the Bruno Fernandes stuff. So let's see what's happening with that. Simply Red says, didn't answer my question. What was the question? Start, bench, sell. Lasagna, pasta bolognese, spaghetti carbonara. I'll sell bolognese, I'll bench carbonara, and I'll start lasagna. The best question I've had all today, Sully. I'd love a lasagna right now. It's more interesting to know than watching the games, says Irish Ryan. Forwards getting pocketed by Hong Kong, says it all, says Marble. Watch this or eat glass. I'm going to the window, says Deck. Can't believe United are losing to King Kong, says Ilya. They'd get smashed by King Kong, to be fair. Can guarantee that while we play in a wet, useless game on a poor pitch, Sir Jim is sunning it up with a pint in his hand. That's from George. Lacey's the only one who's trying, says Sean. When do you panic, Mark? United lose all pre-season. I don't panic about this, Malik. How many of our players get into their team? Well, all of them. That was the question from Simply Red. Mark, in your opinion, will still be willing to still remain at Southampton, even if Wilcock wills Will to willing leave United in December, says Guardian. Man United doesn't even have the draw to play in Hong Kong's proper stadium where Spurs and Arsenal will play in July, says Fat Boy. Loving the commentators. Hong Kong don't deserve this one-way traffic. Now panicking, trying to speak positive about nothing. Friendlies backfiring, says Arna. Mate, MUTV is, and you know me, I'm very forthright in my opinion of being critical of the mainstream. But MUTV is not the mainstream. MUTV is pure and utter propaganda. So I can't really criticise them for saying, oh, you know, United are playing so well. Hong Kong, jammy goal. Man United are brilliant. Because that's what they literally are. It's Manchester United TV. Lacey's gone off, which is a bit of a weird one for me. He's been our best player. Ross says, nightmare scenario. Vardy signed this week. Amrin fired by Christmas. Moyes hired for the rest of the season. Things can get worse. Join Goldbridge for United's humiliation tour. Luke, that's very good. Humiliation tour. If you could be in any movie universe, which one, says Apache? Oh, I'd have a go at Star Wars. I think that'd be quite cool. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. We're closing in on 91,000. On the road to 2.1 million. Biggest and best Man United community. Don't forget, we're live every morning at 10 o'clock, every night at 8 o'clock. Get involved with the interactive chat. Always real opinion from you. United losing 1-0 here after half an hour. And again, we haven't scored on this tour yet. And we've played nearly 120 minutes. And they're on the break again here, Hong Kong. Who remembers that cartoon, Hong Kong Phooey? Oh, I used to love that. That was a great cartoon. I think it was a dog with a karate kit on and a eye mask. It's basically a dog that could do karate. Fighting villains. I think the song used to go Hong Kong Phooey. So I think it was an American thing. The dog that kicked arse, says Breakline. That was it. Well, if Hong Kong are beating us 1-0, imagine what Hong Kong Phooey would do. We'd be getting beat about 10-0. He was a mild-mannered janitor by day. Why are all these superheroes boring jobs by day? Superman was a bloody newspaper journalist. Now most newspaper journalists are super prats. Eric Banana Man, he just went to school. Remember him? Super Ted was just a normal Ted. Sat on a bed. Spider-Man, yeah. Batman. At least he was a millionaire. If I was Batman, right? Have you ever watched the film Batman series, right? You know Bruce Wayne in the ones with Gareth Bale in it, Christian Bale in it. You know, like he's always like out with like supermodels and stuff. And at one point, he turns up to like a really posh function, and he's got a couple of supermodels on each arm, and then something happens, and he has to go and be Batman. I'd be like, nah. Someone's being mugged. An old couple are being mugged by a couple of gang members round the corner. Yeah, get us another bottle of champagne because I'm about to have a very good night. Call the police. I'm not leaving this party. But you're Batman. You're meant to be helping people. Yeah. I'm helping myself though here. My hands are busy. Get me some more champagne. Chelsea now in for Gyökeres, potentially Braithwaite and Kelleher, says Ross. Yeah, Chelsea were always going to move for Gyökeres. We ain't got a chance. I tell you, Sir Jim Ratcliffe tried to buy Chelsea, but Chelsea bought Sir Jim Ratcliffe. They own him. They own him. They basically look at what he wants and goes, yeah, we'll have that. Beryl's in the chat. It's her birthday. She loved Hong Kong Phooey. Happy birthday to Beryl, legend of the chat. Hope you're doing well. Happy birthday. Still losing here 1-0. Lars says, not able to watch the postseason games. Which youngsters have stood out to you? Any promising players? Lacey. But to be honest with you, mate, they've been such a waste of time. They're not like the pre-season games. I think in pre-season there's a little bit more initiative. There's a little bit more enthusiasm. So it's very hard at the end of the season, even for the young players to stand out. If I'm bringing it, Bruno, I'm begging Al Halal to take me, says Buckham. Will Sir Jim Ratcliffe want WrestleMania at the new stadium, says Awaz. Not able to watch the postseason game, says Lars. I've done that one. If you could bring one player in, who would it be? Gyökeres, Ollie, but we won't get him. Really enjoyed your video about struggles the other day. Will you be doing more? Yes, LFC, I will. I do. I've got a couple of ideas I want to do, actually. I just haven't had time this week. Do you see Gyökeres coming in? No, Brian. I think he'll go somewhere better than us with Champions League football. Andrew says that a friend paid top dollar to watch the Malaysia match, travelled to Hong Kong with his family to watch United, and he feels like he got pissed on. Yeah, you did. Life of a Man United fan. Why does my breath stink so bad, says Bread Baskets. Probably because you haven't brushed your teeth. Feeling down at times because the shirt's too heavy for the squad. Sometimes you have to first be great before playing for a great team. Need players, says Wavy Jones. Alvaro says, keep talking, I'm almost finished. You know when you wish you didn't say a sentence? Disgusting. Can't even do it on a rainy night in Hong Kong, says Nicholas. Nicholas, I'm absolutely going to copy and paste that one. I'm on the road to 1 million followers on Twitter, so these little wins can help it. I'm sure somebody else has tweeted it already. I just want the people of these tours to see Man United score a goal. Hey, we've got one! Oh my God. Why is Bruno off the line? Why is Bruno doing some little silly flick? Why did he not just score? He did a little flick. Just hit it normally. As Seb would said, we're not that team. You're not that guy. He's smiling about it, but I mean, look, the game means nothing, does it? It is an exhibition, but look what he tried to do. Yeah, he tried to score a exhibition goal, to be fair. But Bruno, you know, even when he misses, he passes it to Rasmus. Rasmus should hit that first time. Don't take a touch. Can't score goals. Wirtz only wants Liverpool, yet Leverkusen will sell him for 130 million. Why is it that when United players want to leave, we sell them cheap? Says Villing. While we are losing a meaningless friendly to Hong Kong, Liverpool just submitted a 130 million bid for Wirtz. Is that how much? Do you think Wirtz is worth 130 million? That's a general question. I don't think Wirtz is worth 130 million. I'm looking forward to seeing him next season, but I don't think he's worth 130 million. I'd say 100. If Man United wins today, they win a cup. Yeah, we're not winning a cup, fat boy. Wales, better than golf, better than Madrid, better than Batman, in that order, says 1 Inch Wonder. Well, thank you very much for that. Thanks for your super chats that are coming in, by the way. Don't forget to subscribe. 30,000 watching this with me. Thank you for your company. One of my mates has just messaged me about this tour, and he said, I'll read what he said. Shout out to Michael. He says, still laughing at the United team getting an open-top bus parade in Asia the other day, as if Roy Keane or Cantona would have done that. No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. And maybe this is one of the problems as well. We look at why we suffer as a team, and we've got personalities that do stupid things for this mercenary club. Like, players should be saying, I'm not doing it. Check your bloody contracts. If they've signed a contract that says I'm willing to go to the other side of the world at the end of the season and get on an open-top bus tour when we're shit, then you shouldn't have signed the contract. They're on the attack again here. He's going to shoot. Oh, get rid of it. What's your dream scenario if selling Bruno, Mark? Seriously worried about this team. The team feels soulless. Look, Alonso, honestly, I don't know whether Bruno will go or not. But if he stays, there's definitely going to be uproar next season at some point when people say we should have cashed in. But what I will say about Bruno is he tries really hard, but he tries too hard, and it leads to a lack of discipline and a lack of structure. The team for the last 2 years, if you look at United last year under Ten Hag and you look at United this year under Amorim, do we ever play with composure and do we ever look like a well-structured team? We always look erratic. We always look all over the place. We always look like, you know, even now I'm looking at us and we don't look like a team structure. It just looks a little bit like every time I see United attack, it's always an haphazard, all over the place approach. I would rather have 11 players who everybody knows their position and plays to their position, and we had a bit of structure. I mean, look at Nottingham Forest this season. Look at Fulham this season. Look at Bournemouth this season. Look at Brentford this season. They've all achieved things because they've got a structure and a team that knows what they're doing. They certainly don't have a collection of players better than we do, but they have a structure, and I think we need to go back to basics. So Jim, the Chelsea Jizz sock of owners, nice, says Cyprus. One small step for men, one giant inch for mankind, says One Inch Wonder. Gyökeres could flop, should buy proven Premier League forward, says Luke. Like who? What team will surprise us next season, good or bad, says Dave. Watch the Jim sign Sterling, says Connor. Would not surprise me. Premier League team to surprise you next season. I actually don't know. It's hard to tell at the moment. We play like there is a 24/7 bomb scare, says Richard. Dan says, honestly, at this point, nobody should be safe. Rip the whole thing down and start again. Tours are all about scoring and entertainment, not results. If United don't score any next time, the host will keep an embarrassing clause. Imagine that low, says Akil. I've flown 13 hours to watch Eintracht lose to Mainz 0-5 for a weekend, so this shouldn't be too disappointing for the local United fans, says Eintracht Hong Kong. It's £109, not add-ons, not in add-ons, says Pulse. In relation to Verts. 42 minutes gone, still no goal. Apparently, MUTV commentary, according to Matt, our producer, says they were talking about how good United have played, but when Hong Kong scored, they haven't shut up about the scenery. I feel like there's you know, like in the past, we've had commentators who didn't realise they were still being recorded. I feel like with MUTV, there's probably some absolutely brilliant footage that we'll never get, where they think the cameras are off and they're going, what a load of shit this is. How do they expect us to polish this turd? They're absolutely rubbish. We'd be better off with the under-6ers. They're absolutely fucking rubbish. I mean, they must really think that, but, you know, in their private moments when they're down the pub or on the plane back. Unpopular opinion, United win the Premier League next season. Jake, that's not unpopular. That's a medical condition. You need to go to the doctors, mate. That's, you know, when you're dehydrated and you start to hallucinate. That's what that is. Bruno, he might score now. No. Big shout out for Poddy, says Darren. Oh. My mate said this tour is like every other school breaking up for summer, but yours has kept everyone back and made them all do finger painting, says Callum. There's a lot of things I'd rather do than subject us to this. I mean, look, we have to do it. We're the United stand. We're all in it together. We can all have a bit of a laugh and we can all have a bit of a joke. But the reality is just hard to you have to ignore the reality that Brentford, Spurs, I don't think there's another Premier League club that isn't on the beach apart from us. So every other club is rest and recuperation, and we are out here getting beat and embarrassing ourselves. I mean, it's just, yeah. I was confused about it. Well, I never understood why we did it in the first place, and I still don't understand why we did it. Money. Man United is like the footballing equivalent of North Korea, says Marble. Do you think Bruno is pushing the board be serious to get signings done early? I remember he was talking to Saudi last year at the same circumstances as Harry. Yeah, but we didn't get those deals done early last year, did we? Xerxes didn't happen until sort of June. Yoro was early July, and then Delit, Mazraoui and Agate were like late, weren't they? Really late. Minoda says some of these fans will have saved up to watch this game. My heart breaks for them. Think of all the things they could have spent their money on. Like, think of all the good things that they could have got instead of this. To be honest, they could have got a hooker and an STD and then they'd been in a better situation than this. It would have been less painful, and at least they would have got some pleasure. At least they would have got a bit of goal mouth action. Buy Ivan Toney, get Ruben Neves in midfield, Cunha 10, sell Bruno for 109 and back our manager. Glazes out, says Jay. Oh, I think they might have cut the stream here. It's frozen for me. Is it frozen for anyone else? So not only do you have to pay to watch this shit, the stream has now gone down as well. It's frozen. Yeah. Even the stream's quit. We haven't paid the electric. There's someone at MUTV going, shit, Sir Jim's actually cut the bill off. We've cut the Wi-Fi off. We haven't paid the Virgin bill. Oh, it's back. It's coming back again. Oh, we didn't miss a goal anyway. It's back. Another £2 in the meter. There we go. Half time, Man United losing 1-0 to Hong Kong. If it didn't sound so crazy, we might actually be shocked. But the reality is, yes, we probably expected that. Compare the characters of Jaws to United. Glazer and Radcliffe are Mayor Vaughan and his cronies. Chief Brody is Amarim. Amity folk is as the fans. Tired, ignored, but the first to get eaten when leadership fails, says Krishna. Great analogy there, actually. Thank you very much for that. Went out a data from Sir Jim's phone, says Jacob. If you don't laugh, you'll cry. It's boring, the same every single year. Tempted to throw a wanna on a relegation bet. Honestly say we need it, says Jay. Lumar, welcome to the Members Club. Thanks for getting your badge in and supporting the channel. Also, MUTV producers have just been made redundant, says James Holland. Amrim's part of the problem. Don't cut him any slack, as proof of the truth. I'm glad the Delap deal fell through. I want Mateta just to hear United's version of Acuna Mateta, Cunha and Mateta from the Stretty end, says JKD. System won't work. Get Amrim out, says 7-inch Destroyer. United strikers next season, Vardy and Calvert-Lewin, says Luke. I live in New York, and I was going to go to the game here in the summer, but after watching this, I don't even know if it'll be worth it. Dylan, look, in fairness, I don't mind, I don't mind the banter. Like, we're losing to, a team we shouldn't be losing to, MUTV, propaganda, whatever. But in all fairness, the pre-season tour will actually matter. This is just about the money. And the pre-season tour is about the money, but it's also about getting your fitness ready for the new season. This doesn't serve a purpose. Like, Amrim said, oh, it'll be good about... It doesn't mean anything. It's the end of the season. You can't teach anything. You can't motivate anything. You're not going to get any enthusiasm. They are actually just a massive waste of time for everybody. The only people this benefits is Joel and Jim and a bit of money on the bottom line. So Jim is going to cancel another barbecue after this as 1 Inch Wonder. Kevin says, how much does United get from their YouTube channel? Not a lot. They won't be earning a lot from their YouTube channel. Thousands, not millions, certainly. In which scenario will the Glazers sell? Seriously, the only way, in my opinion, and I think everyone agrees with me, the only way the Glazers would sell Manchester United is, answer Jim, would be if they, if the regeneration project doesn't happen, because they'll be screwed then. They won't be able to afford it. They could have watched your United career mode for free, says Tom. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Some good super chats coming in. Appreciate that. Let's go to the chat. We should use Harry Maguire as the striker. We need to promote from within, says Neil Evans. I think he's just doing a Sir Jim impression. We find new ways only to embarrass ourselves, says Rockstar. And is this season worse than Sir Alex's first season at United, says Steve? Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's a question for you. I don't actually think there is a season worse than this one, factually, since the season we got relegated in the early 70s. I think I'm right in saying that there is no season worse than this, apart from the relegation season in the 70s. So, effectively, it's our worst season in 50 years, half a century. That's not a laughing matter, is it? It's our worst season in half a century. It's incredible. Incredible how bad it is. And still we sit and suffer and don't do anything about it. Jake Gaming says, unpopular opinion, Pogba back to United and will win the lot. Let's be honest, says Jake. Saddens me to say this, our fans are not passionate and daring as Liverpool fans. Their fans wouldn't let owners get away with this, destroy our club and stadium. 100%. Nothing wrong with it. Saiful, you're absolutely correct. I don't understand that. I love our fan base. I think our away support, when you listen to it, is incredible. I think our worldwide support is incredible. But when it comes to getting things done, we're not very good. I don't know whether anybody's actually ever established why that is, but Liverpool would not have put up with the Glazers. They'd have got rid of them. Other clubs would have got rid of the Glazers, but for some reason, we're just not... I don't know what it is. If I knew, I'd be shouting it, but I don't know what it is. I don't know why it is. We're absolutely toothless as a fan base to get to make real change at our football club. And it's not even just about getting them out. They don't listen to the Man United Supporters Trust. They don't listen to the 58. They won't speak to them because they don't respect them. They don't respect us. I respect those organisations. You do, but the club don't. They don't care. They're not bothered. They really just don't. The Man United team might not, but this community does appreciate you, Mark. On an otherwise depressing day, you're a beacon of hope and humour. Thank you, V. Glazers killed this club. Jim came to keep the wreath, says Aki. Anyone within the Man United that's worth keeping, says Kevin. So Jim is going to cancel. Look, we're not going to sell every single player, and we can't sell every single player. Garnacho's going to go. I'm ready for that. Bruno, we'll have to wait and see. I'm ready for either situation. Rashford's obviously going to go. Sancho's going to go. Anthony's going to go. We need to... It feels to me like, and United, I always say this when we go on the pre-season tour as well, whenever United go on a tour, it's like we can't do anything else. It feels like this week we haven't done anything. Oh, we're on tour, we can't do anything. It's a very important week, and we should be doing stuff, but we're not. We've got a lot of work to do, and we're not doing it. Imagine being a young boy supporting Manchester United, watching us like this. We will be losing more and more upcoming supporters due to the way we have been the last 5 years. I'm glad I got to see the glory days. I agree with you, Daniel. Look, the thing about Spurs is, Spurs had a really bad season, but they scored a load of goals. They conceded a load of goals, but they scored a load of goals. So it must be bad being a Spurs fan, but you do get to see goals. United, we lose, and we also play awful. We're dreadful to watch and we lose. That's a big problem if you're trying to sell a brand, is that, you know, we don't even look good. People might buy a chocolate bar because the wrapping looks good. People might buy a lager because the branding's good. United's branding is awful. Our performances are awful. We're living on loyalty. That's what we're doing. The fan base is what I call a legacy fan base. And it's funny because I'm sure the club recently, in the last few years, were basically all about winning new fans and taking the piss out of the legacy fans. But the legacy fans at the time said, we're your bread and butter and we're the people that keep you in business. And lo and behold, we're not attracting any new fans now. We are totally and utterly reliant on legacy fans because you're not going to attract new fans to Manchester United. Anybody that does their research, look, there might be people who buy Man United tops like people buy New York Yankees caps. I want a cap. Oh, I know what the NY is. I'll get that. I'm not going to watch any bloody baseball. I think some people do buy Man United shirts because it's Man United. I've heard of them. But anybody who's actually wanting to get into football are not going to buy Man United. They're not going to support Man United because we're crap to watch. And a lot of these fans have to get up at ridiculous times o'clock as well in the morning. You're not going to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to watch this shit. You're going to get up and watch Mo Salah at Liverpool, or you're going to get up and watch Saka at Arsenal. You know, we're failing massively. Bobby says, all this shit because of a racehorse. 7-inch Destroyer says, serious question. In retro, would you have kept Ten Hag, which was only 4 points off top 4 when he got sacked, or kept Rude? It's due to their points we're not relegated, says 7-inch Destroyer. I mean, Ruud van Nistelrooy just went to Leicester and stunk out the place, so I don't really understand the Ruud thing. All Ruud did was get a bit of a new manager bounce playing the Ten Hag system. So really the question is, would I have kept Ten Hag or gone for Amorim? I didn't want Ten Hag to get sacked. I was one of the few people that didn't want it to happen. I was against it. I don't think spending £300 million on a manager and sacking him in October is a good idea. They should have sacked him in the summer if that was the plan. We should have kept Ten Hag to the end of the season and then made a replacement. But again, our owners are fucking useless. Bringing Amorim in November was crazy because they didn't back him in the January, and it's a brand new system. So really, for me, this whole season's been a massive write-off, and Amorim obviously needs a pre-season and a transfer window. That's where we are. Why United not playing simple football to win, says Lutty. How do you think Sir Alex would have dealt with Garnacho back in the old days, says Michael. I don't think Sir Alex would be a very good companion to selling young players. But I don't think he'd have used him as much as Amorim's used him, because he's had to use him, though. We haven't had any other wingers. Can you do a video on keep, sell, loan? Says Michael. Oh, I don't know. I don't know whether I can do that. It's a bit boring. I'd rather just get on with buying. Crazy how United lose to Hong Kong before GTA 6 is Mod. How do Liverpool negotiate 10 million for a player leaving anyway, yet United overpay, undersell and get 8 million for this waste of time? Do we have negotiations ever? Says Terra. Give Amorim a lifetime contract, says Madsen. How much do we make from the Premier League Summer Series, says Mo. Don't know. Is that the one in America? Amir says, I saw reports Amorim called Gyökeres and told him to join United to win the league with Cunha and Mbeumo. Do these reporters think we are stupid? Fans should organise targeted boycotts on Adidas and sponsors. I know the fan base is divided, but this club is going into ruin and we have to do something, says Noor. Our downfall started when we got rid of Ollie, says Chris. No, it didn't. I mean, I've got to disagree with that, Chris. Our downfall started when we got rid of Ollie. I actually think I can pinpoint our downfall. And I'd like to know what other people think. I can pinpoint our downfall. The first season of Ten Hag, we won the Carabao Cup and we finished 3rd. We sold De Gea. That was when it went wrong. That was for me where it started to go really wrong, because we'd finished 3rd, we'd won the Carabao Cup, and he got rid of De Gea for Onana, and I was like, what the fuck? I think he lost the dressing room when he did that. I think a lot of fans, a lot of players were disappointed. That was the beginning of the end for Ten Hag. We had a shit season, as we know. That was when we got rid of De Gea. That was where it went wrong for Ten Hag, because I actually think his first season we were building something. Another point, if you want to go further back, another point was when the club listened to players over managers and allowed the players to stab Mourinho in the back. That was another one. There's been a few. I don't think getting rid of Ollie was the pinpoint. He overstayed his welcome. He was quite a limited coach. Because the players loved Ollie and they still let him down. I think Ollie overachieved, to be fair. Unlike Jose, Amrim doesn't look like he can handle huge egos. Examples, Marcus Garnacho. He prefers mouldable hard workers instead. Shaping our transfer policy to get cheap yes men versus flair, says Hitton. Amrim out, crowd are holding us back. We have to accept we're beyond the level of a 2-season rebuild. We're a 4 or 5 year project and need patience, says Debt Collector. Do you think we'll sell Luke Shaw, says Andrew? I mean, Luke Shaw's not here, is he? Another injured again. Ineos didn't have the balls to sack Ten Hag in the summer. They won't have the balls to let Bruno go, no matter how much sense it makes. They're cowards, says JJ. Henri said, same mark, new manager needs 2 to 3 transfer windows to fully get his team and make an impact. Amrim needs backing and time but won't get it, says Josh. When are you going to do a fundraiser for United's cafeteria and transfer budget, says Jay. And with Liam Delap's snub, who Man United can look for, says Kevin. I think they'll end up going for Mateta. Lol says, Highland crap again, time to go. If Rasmus goes, we need 2 strikers. And at the moment, I don't even know if we're going to get one. Feels like we're taking this 8 million. Jim has gone for short-term gain, long-term pain. Losing some fans in South Asia as well, says Matthew. Yeah, as I said, you know, we've took the money, haven't we? Which is great. But we took the money and that's great, but what damage has this done to us in the Asian market? Like 8 million quid. I think we thought we were going to go and score a load of goals and make people like Man United. 8 million quid, and we've embarrassed ourselves and ruined the brand, actually. So it's incredible, really. Kick-off for the second half is about to start here. I presume Man United will be making some changes. Up and running for the second half. Why is my scorecard gone? Oh, God. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. I've got to pop out in a few minutes, so I'll be with you for about another 5 minutes or so, and then I'll be pushing you over to Beth, who is going to cover the second half with you and obviously give you a different angle on what's going on from the Manchester studio. But we've got a few changes here. As you can see, Obi's on, Kone's on. I didn't see the full list of changes there. I will give you them now. Yeah, Raft of changes. Bayinder's on. Munro, Heaven, Armour, Ahmad, Collier, Agate, Dorgu, Mount, Mainu and Obi. So Bruno's gone off. I can't imagine that that was Bruno's last few minutes. I can't imagine that that was Bruno's last appearance in a Man United shirt. I know there's talk that it could be, but I can't imagine that that's it. Anshul says, Cunha, Gyökeres, Mbeumo, Edison. How would you rate the window if we got those four? 7. Be a good window. It won't happen. Tantric says, we also couldn't imagine finishing 15th. Yeah. Yeah. Hi, Mark. Have you looked into Ekatike from Frankfurt? Very good player, Mason, but way beyond our limitations. Thanks for the super chat. It's a no-win situation. Win, who cares? Lose, laughing stock. Only thing to do is laugh. This is crazy, says JK. Højlund is low on confidence. Shouldn't sell him, says Mark. Are United getting fined 10 million by Adidas for no European football? Says Stevie J. Are there hidden gems in Division 1 like Gyökeres, says Keel. Who's your favourite Man United player at the moment, says Dante. Easy. Fred the Red. The mascot. I don't think United will be back for 50 years. Chelsea are just better. Yous are so cooked. I actually think you'll get relegated, says Eric. I heard Sheikh Jazim is interested in buying the club. Do you think it will happen in the future? Only if the regeneration project doesn't happen, Mohammed. What do you think when the Glazers bought United? I didn't want it, Lars. I don't think anybody did. Reports are saying that Ten Hag wants Garnacho and Anthony, says Maliki. The true downfall started when the Glazers bought United, says Sonny. The last 10 minutes of the Sevilla game at home in the Europa League under Ten Hag, we never played the same after that, says Mark Dennehy. And Hitton says, unlike Jose, Amorim doesn't like... I've done that one, haven't I? Yeah, did that one. Good one. There was a good one from Hitton, that was. What's your opinion on Trent to Real Madrid, says Prince. I think we knew about it for a very long time. Is my opinion. Goal! Obi. There you go. Cuts Erasmus on the bench. He won't be happy about that. But he took it well. Bit of positivity. See, this is what this bloody tour's meant to be all about. Bit of positivity. Took it really well. Don't need a striker. Sir Jim's having a... No, I'm not saying that. Sir Jim's like, we don't need a striker. Took it very well. That's just what? Good confidence. Yeah, took it really, really well. Really, really well. Can he be the solution at 17? He might have to be. Anana not playing again. Surely he's gone, says Sean. Andy Harris says, fans won't accept 3 to 5 year rebuild, then cycle repeats. Thank you, Andy. Hey, Mark, I've done that one from Ekatike. Yeah, he took it really, really well. Sort of got it out of his feet, banged it in the bottom corner. The contrast between what we're seeing with Rasmus is massive, isn't it? Could he be the new Rooney? Look, it's not impossible, Andy, to throw in a 17-year-old up front. It's not impossible. We've seen it in the past. Michael Owen, I think, was 17 at Liverpool. Yamal is 17 at Barcelona. So you can't just say he's 17. But what you can say is you couldn't go into next season with Obi and Rasmus as your strikers. That would be ridiculous. You've got to... we've got to bring in another striker. Yeah, I can't put the scoreboard up. It's gone down, sorry. It's 1-1 though. Right, I'm going to push you over to Beth anyway, because I've got to go down to the doctors. So Beth, hopefully, is going to be the lucky charm that takes us through to a win here. Obi's made it 1-1. Get yourself over there. Thanks, everyone. I'm back. We're back at 3:30 talking to Ben Jacobs about Bruno. Second half with Beth now, and we've got the 8 o'clock show as well. I'll let you know what the Doctors is all about in a little bit, but I don't like talking about stuff before it. So unfortunately, I wasn't going to the Doctors this morning, and I was going to do the whole game, but I've had to get this appointment. So I'll speak to you in a bit. Take care. Get over to the watch along with Beth. I'll push you over.